Every year, millions of people visit the most beautiful places on Earth. They book the flights, pack the bags, take their pictures. But some of them never come home. And those stories get buried. Too strange for the news, too unsettling for the tourist boards, too real for anyone to repeat. You've found Retribution Wire. This is where those stories finally get told. Turn off the lights. Stay with me. And whatever you do, don't stop listening. Iceland draws over 2 million tourists a year. The northern lights, the black sand beaches, the Blue Lagoon, milky turquoise water, volcanic steam, one of the most magical places a human being can stand. But the 12 miles of road between Reykjavik and the lagoon has a name locals use quietly: the Blind Road. In 9 years, 4 tourists vanished on it. Not accidents, not lost. Vanished without a trace. This is the account of the 5th. Her name was Claire, 28, secondary school teacher from Manchester. She'd saved 18 months for the trip. Iceland in January, aurora season, near permanent darkness. She went alone, which her friends thought was reckless, and which she thought was the whole point. Her last Instagram post, still live, still public, was from the driver's window of her rental car. Black road, white snow on both sides, the sky showing the first green bruise of an aurora. 12 miles from the lagoon, nothing for miles. Feels like the edge of the world. That was posted at 11:14 p.m. on January the 9th. She never arrived. Her rental car was found the next morning, engine running, half off the road, doors closed. Phone on the passenger seat, still unlocked, coat on the back seat, boots on the floor. She had stepped out in sub-zero temperatures without her coat or boots. No footprints in the snow led away. The ground around the car was completely undisturbed. Icelandic search and rescue, among the best in the world, found nothing. Local residents gave investigators something that never made English language coverage. Where Claire's car stopped sits adjacent to a lava formation called Naturleg Opide, the natural opening, a fissure in the ancient lava field, 60 meters deep, almost invisible under snow. Every local stays away from it after dark, not because of the depth, because of what they say comes out of it. In Icelandic folklore, documented, studied, not fringe, there is a class of entity called Huldufólk, hidden people, not small and whimsical, full-sized, human-appearing beings living in lava fields, neither malevolent nor benevolent, territorial, indifferent to human concepts of harm, drawn above all to light, to things that glow in the dark, an aurora. A phone screen held up to a car window. Investigators found the fissure 12 meters from Claire's car, buried under 18 inches of snow. They did not find Claire. At the very lip of the fissure, where no footprint existed, forensics found one item, one sock, still warm. Claire has not been found. Her parents flew to Reykjavik and stayed 3 weeks. A local search coordinator, 22 years of experience, told them gently. The Blind Road had never given anything back. It would not give Claire back either. When the rental car was returned, the agency found something missed in the initial search. On the inside of the driver's window, in the condensation from Claire's breath, a shape had been traced by a finger. Not letters, not words. A repeated spiral, overlapping, drawn with precision. 3 Icelandic academics, shown the photograph independently, identified it as a marking from old Icelandic lava field cartography. A boundary marker, the kind placed on old maps where human territory ended, and something else's began. The road to the Blue Lagoon passes mile marker 7 at night. If you're driving it, keep your phone in your pocket. Don't hold the light to the window. If your car stops for no reason, do not get out. Sometimes, the boundary between our world and what lies beyond isn't marked by freezing snow or volcanic fissures. Sometimes, it hides in plain sight, masked by the heavy heat of a tropical paradise. We move from the sub-zero isolation of Iceland to the dense, ancient canopies of Indonesia. Because a line drawn in the dirt is still a line, and once you cross it, the earth falls silent. Bali draws 6 million tourists a year. The sacred monkey forest in Ubud is on every itinerary. Ancient temples, half swallowed by jungle. 700 macaques roaming freely. A TripAdvisor listing. A gift shop at the entrance. But at the edge of the official path sits a low stone wall. No sign. No rope. No barrier. Just a wall. And then shadow. Locals call what's beyond it Hutan Dalam, the deep forest. In 6 years, 2 tourists entered it and never came out. This is the story of one of them. His name was Marcus, 34, graphic designer from Austin, Texas. 2 weeks into a solo backpacking trip through Southeast Asia, Thailand, Vietnam, then Bali. The trip he'd been planning since university and kept deferring until he simply booked it. Meticulous by nature. Travel insurance, offline maps, a physical notebook with emergency contacts, and medical notes. His family called him the most organized person they knew. He joined a guided group tour of the monkey forest on April the 3rd. 8 tourists, 1 local guide named Wayan. 90 minutes scheduled. Marcus photographed throughout, smiling at a temple gate, hand outstretched to a macaque, crouching over a banyan root system. The last photograph shows him at the stone wall, the boundary of the deep forest. Not looking at the camera, looking over the wall into the trees. Not curiosity, not excitement. The woman who took it, a retired nurse from Leeds, described it as the expression of someone listening very carefully to something only they could hear. The group moved on. Wayan counted heads. Marcus was gone. The search began within 20 minutes. Wayan had been through this once before. A Belgian tourist who wandered off and was found within the hour, disoriented, but fine. This was not like that. The Ubud search and rescue team entered the deep forest at 11:40 a.m. Local men who had grown up in Ubud, experienced with every root system and waterway of that jungle. Not afraid of the forest, afraid of something else. Independently, without coordination, every team member reported the same thing. 200 meters past the stone wall, the jungle sounds stopped. Not gradually, instantly. No birds, no insects, no wind. Total silence. One searcher described it as the silence of a closed room, not open air. 2 team members refused to go further and waited at the boundary. Marcus's notebook was found 40 meters past the silence line. Not dropped, placed. Open to a specific page. The page that should have held his emergency contacts was covered entirely in a repeated symbol. Dense, layered, frantic. No alphabet anyone recognized. The remaining searchers pushed to the deepest accessible point and found Marcus's phone face down in a banyan root system. Screen cracked, battery at 3%. His last GPS ping, plotted on satellite imagery, corresponded to the center of a banyan grove so ancient its roots had consumed all ground beneath it. A place with no physical space for a human being to stand. The forest's head priest, Mangku Rai, 31 years serving the 3 temples, was consulted as a formality. The local team did not treat it as one. He said the deep forest holds a Pura Dalam, a temple of the dead, unmaintained, predating the complex by centuries. Around it exists a territory that does not respond to human presence the way living places do. He said all 700 macaques never enter the deep forest, not one. In 31 years, not a single exception. The monkeys that climb on every tourist and fill every temple wall, they stop at the stone boundary. They do not look over it. They turn away from it. He believed Marcus had heard something at the wall, a sound below normal human hearing range from the deep temple space. Something people occasionally hear and cannot resist following. It does not happen often, Manku Rai said. But when it does, the forest keeps what it calls. Marcus has not been found. His mother gave one interview after returning to Austin. He would never just wander off. He had a system for everything, the most careful person I've ever known. Whatever happened, he didn't choose it. Something chose him. The stone wall at the edge of the deep forest has no sign, no barrier. Stay on the path. Don't stand at that wall. And if you hear something the person next to you doesn't, don't follow it. But a boundary doesn't always exist as a line drawn on the Earth's surface. Sometimes the threshold is buried deep beneath it, hidden under thousands of years of shifting sand and ancient brick. We move from the suffocating canopy of Bali to the scorching, forgotten plateaus of Egypt. Because some boundaries weren't drawn to mark where human territory ends. They were built to seal something away from the living world entirely. Saqqara is not the Egypt most tourists see. 30 kilometers south of Cairo, it is a vast necropolis, a city of the dead, with 4 kilometers of desert plateau, hiding tunnels, and chambers that archaeologists have been excavating for over 100 years and still have not fully mapped. There are sections down there that ground-penetrating radar has confirmed exist, but that no modern expedition has ever entered. The Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities knows they are there. They have chosen not to open them. In December 2019, a private group of 6 tourists changed that. Their guide was Khalid, licensed, experienced, 11 years leading tours through Saqqara. By early afternoon, the group had reached the southern plateau when James, a doctoral student from Chicago, noticed something. A gap at the base of the plateau wall, 60 centimeters high, partially buried in sand. Khalid said it was nothing, a collapsed section of a known tunnel. He told them to move on. James asked to look inside. Khalid agreed to let them shine a torch through the gap. Nothing more. What all 6 saw stopped them cold. A dressed stone passageway, flat floor, shaped walls, running straight before curving out of sight. No archaeological markers, no ministry stamps, completely unknown, completely undisturbed. James went in anyway. The Australian followed. Then Tobias, a German software engineer. For 4 minutes, Khalid could hear them inside. Excited voices, James shouting about cartouches on the walls, Tobias asking about a symbol. Then silence. 7 full minutes of silence. James came out first. Torch off, sat in the sand without speaking. The Australian came out 2 minutes later. Same. Silent, separate, didn't look at anyone. Tobias came out 9 minutes after that. He was walking backwards, facing into the tunnel. He came through the gap backwards, stood up, and only then turned around. When asked why, Tobias said simply, "I didn't want to turn my back on it." All 3 were interviewed separately that evening by ministry officials. None knew what the others had said. All 3 described the same thing, a circular chamber 20 meters in, carved walls covered in hieroglyphics, a single stone sarcophagus in the center, lid displaced, empty. But the chamber was not empty. All 3 described a presence on the far side of the room, not a figure, a concentration of something that made the air feel heavier, pressured. James called it the feeling of being looked at by something that has been waiting a very long time. The Australian said her hearing went muffled. Tobias said he became completely certain the chamber had been sealed, not to keep people out, but to keep something in. All 3 phones had died inside despite full batteries. All 3 left without photographs. None of them decided to leave. They simply all started moving toward the exit at the exact same moment. The ministry cordoned off the gap the following day. Ground-penetrating radar confirmed the chamber exactly as described. No excavation has been announced. No follow-up statement issued. Tobias gave one interview 6 months later. He said one thing: the sarcophagus was empty. But something had been using that chamber for a very long time. Whatever was in that room had not left. It was simply waiting for us to go. Some doors, once found, cannot be unfound. And some things, once aware of you, do not forget. Every destination tonight is real. People visit them every single day. Most come home. The ones who don't, their stories get buried. Retribution Wire exists, so those stories aren't forgotten. Take a second right now to hit the like button and subscribe for more. It takes one click, but it keeps this wire alive. If you're planning a trip to any of these places, go. Genuinely. Just pay attention to where the locals don't go. Stay curious, stay careful, and never stop asking questions.